Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Know Your English Grammar. In today's lesson, we will learn about active and passive voices. What is the difference between the active and the passive voice, and how do we change from the active voice to the passive voice? At the end of this session, we will complete together a short quiz. What do we mean by voice in English grammar? Voice is one of the properties of the verb. It is used to indicate whether the subject of the sentence is performing the action or receiving the action described by the verb. The teacher handed out the homework. The homework was handed out by the teacher. Are these two sentences saying the same thing? Are they giving the same meaning? Yes, they are. But in the first sentence, the emphasis is on the teacher, while in the second sentence, the emphasis is on the homework. In our first sentence, the teacher handed out the homework. This sentence is written in the active voice. In the active voice, the subject of the sentence is performing the action on the object. The teacher is the subject of the sentence. Handed is a verb or the action that is being performed on the object, which is the homework. In the second sentence, the homework was handed out by the teacher. The subject is now the receiver of the action. So, the object is now in the position of the subject, and the subject is in the position of the object. The emphasis is on the object, which is the homework. Let's look more closely at the active voice. The active voice tells us what a person or thing does. The subject performs the action on the object, so the emphasis is on the subject of the sentence. The structure is subject plus action or verb plus the object. For example, Mary typed the letters. In this sentence, Mary is the subject, typed is the action that is carried out by Mary, and letters is the object. So, the action performed by Mary is on the letters, the object. Now, let's look more closely at the passive voice. The passive voice tells us what is done by someone or something. Unlike the active voice, where the subject performs the action, in the passive voice, the subject receives the action performed by the verb, so the emphasis is on the object of the sentence. The sentence consists of a form of the verb to be, followed by a past participle of the verb, plus the preposition by, followed by the subject. The structure is object plus a form of the verb to be, plus the past participle of the verb, plus by, plus subject. Using our previous example, Mary typed the letters. Written in the passive voice, our sentence becomes, the letters were typed by Mary. Now we see that letters is in the position where we would normally have the subject of the sentence. So, letters is the object, were is a form of the verb to be, followed by the past participle of the verb used, followed by the preposition by, and the subject Mary. Let's look more closely at how we change from the active voice to the passive voice. The postman mailed the letters yesterday. This is written in the active voice. Postman is the subject, mailed is the action performed by the postman, and the letters is the object. Written in the passive voice, our sentence now reads, "The letters were mailed by the postman yesterday." In the passive voice, the object letters is now placed in the position of the subject, and the subject postman is now placed in the position of the object. Were is a form of the verb to be. Mailed is the past participle of the verb, which remains as is in this case, followed by the preposition by, followed by the subject postman. Here is another example. The manager hired a new employee. This sentence is written in the active voice. Manager is the subject, hired is the action performed by the subject manager, and employee is the object. Written in the passive voice, the subject manager is the one receiving the action, so it's now in the position of the object. The emphasis is now on the object employee, which is now in the position of the subject. Our sentence is now written. A new employee was hired by the manager. So we have the object employee followed by a form of the verb to be, which is was, followed by the past participle of the action verb hire, followed by the preposition by, followed by the subject. In this next example, Michael will purchase the tickets for the concert. Written in the passive voice, the tickets for the concert will be purchased by Michael. Tickets, which is the object of the sentence in the active voice, is now in the position of the subject. It's at the beginning of the sentence. Will be is a form of the verb to be. Purchased is the past participle of the verb purchase. Then we have the preposition by, followed by the subject Michael. If we wanted to be less precise, the preposition by, along with the subject of the sentence, may be omitted, and it would not change the intent of the message. Using our last example, the tickets for the concert will be purchased by Michael. By Michael could be left off as the focus is on the object, which is the tickets. The tickets for the concert will be purchased is fine by itself without the preposition by and the subject Michael, as we do not need to know who will purchase the tickets. Active voice is more commonly used in our everyday writing and speech, as it is less wordy and more direct. So, is the passive voice necessary? And when should we use it? We use the passive voice when the performer of the action is unknown or irrelevant to our thought. So if you came across a sentence like this, the famous pizza parlor was established in the 1950s. This is written in the passive voice. We do not know who established the pizza parlor, and it may not be important to know, as the focus is on the pizza parlor and not when it was established. We could have given more information and say, the famous pizza parlor was established in the 1950s by Mr. Brown. But since our focus is on the pizza parlor and not who established it, we omit the by and the subject, Mr. Brown. If we wanted to be more direct, then we would have written this in the active voice. Mr. Brown established the famous pizza parlor in the 1950s. The passive voice is also used when we want to emphasize the result of an action. For example, scores of spectators were crushed in the stampede. The emphasis is on the scores of spectators that were crushed, not what caused the stampede that resulted in the spectators being crushed. Let us do a little quiz. I'm giving you 5 sentences, and you are to identify the voice each sentence is written in. If the sentence given is in the active voice, you should rewrite it in the passive voice. And if you have identified the sentence to be in the passive voice, rewrite it in the active voice. Here we go. Number 1, the homework was completed by all the students. Number 2, Joan has seen the play several times. Number 3, the football match was won by the favorite team. Number 4, the hungry child ate a 2-course meal. And number 5, the chef is preparing dinner for the guests. At this point, please pause the video so you may think about your answers and write them in the comments section. When you think you have finished, continue playing the video and let us check the answers together. Okay, welcome back. Let's now check the answers. Number 1, the homework was completed by all the students. This is written in the passive voice. Rewriting it in the active voice, all the students completed the homework. Number 2, Joan has seen the play several times. This is written in the active voice. In the passive voice, our answer is the play has been seen by Joan several times. Number 3, the football match was won by the favorite team. This is in the passive voice. Rewritten in the active voice, the favorite team won the football match. Number 4, the hungry child ate a 2-course meal. This is in the active voice. Now, in the passive voice, a 2-course meal was eaten by the hungry child. And number 5, the chef is preparing dinner for the guests. This is in the active voice. Now, in the passive voice, dinner is being prepared by the chef for the guests. Please let me know in the comments section how you did on this little quiz. That's it for this lesson. It was my pleasure bringing it to you. For more English grammar lessons, please subscribe to this channel and let me hear from you in the comments section. See you next time. Bye.